As a child, I was afraid of monsters in my room. In the still of the night, when everything was quiet, I was terrified of the boogeyman hiding under my bed, in my closet, or upstairs in the attic. Now that I'm grown, this fear seems so frivolous. Looking back, it's hard to imagine that I even gave this fictitious character that I created in my own imagination so much power over me. However, it was more of the fear of the unknown instead of the monsters themselves that paralyzed me those so many nights as a child. Now that I'm an adult, the fear of the unknown still holds great power over me, not in the form of monsters, but in decisions that I face as an adult. One of those greatest fears was the fears of me going back to college in my 40s. Even though those around me, both in my family and my work, constantly praised my work and encouraged me to go back and complete my degree, I was terrified of the monster that lied ahead if I decided to take that leap and go back to school. Like a CD with a scratch, I replayed the What Could Go Wrong playlist in my head over and over again. The biggest fear for me was the fear of failure. What if I fail? What if I let all those people down that believed in me? What if they were wrong? What if I'm really not capable of doing this? I thought to myself that this was just one more thing in my life that I couldn't see through and that I wouldn't finish. There were so many things that could go wrong while I was pursuing my degree that it would be easy for me to give up and throw in the towel and prove myself right. Going back to college was pushing me out of my comfort zone. I can remember being absolutely clueless how to take that first step. It was almost as though I was that little girl lying in the dark, covers over my head, daring to put my foot down out of my bed, waiting for something to grab a hold of me and drag me under. As I pulled up in the parking lot on campus and took that first step out of my car, I felt so vulnerable walking into that campus. So many fears came rushing at me. Like a tsunami of doubt, that playlist started on repeat again. What if I'm the oldest one here? Everyone else will be so much smarter than me. Who am I to be here? I was so intimidated, even though most people on campus probably didn't even notice me. But the back to school jitters are very real at any age. I also began to fear the amount of time it would take to even get a degree. I just kept thinking, what if it takes me forever to complete this degree? Let's face it, I'm hardly young and half of my life has passed. By the time I finish my degree, I will be well into my 40s. How can I even compete with the young kids that are graduating out of college when it comes down to securing a job? They have so much more to offer than me. Another very real fear was that college would take away time from my family. I was so afraid that I wouldn't be able to balance my time between school and family. It didn't seem fair for my family to suffer because I got this wild hair to go back to school. Why wasn't I satisfied with the way things were? I should be content with my career at 40. Shouldn't I? I mean, this is the path that I chose all those years ago, wasn't it? Did I choose this or did this career choose me? Because it worked for my family dynamics at the time. So much self-doubt, so much fear. But like a flashlight in the dark, I kept getting these little glimmers of hope in the form of encouragement and inspiration from those around me, pushing me to be more. Once I had applied to school, I was swept with the fear of the cost. What if I spend all of this money at my age and never really pays off? I mean, I'm going for a teaching degree, for goodness sakes. It's not like I'm going to get rich doing this. Will it even be worth it? I began to see my education as an investment in me, in my future. The time, commitment involved, the money, the challenges of attending classes with younger students were all very real. And fears that I faced when I decided to return to school. But I just decided to do the hard thing that terrified me. I took the first step. I put that foot down on that campus and I met with an advisor. The constant fear of what can go wrong was soon replaced with a thought of everything that could go right. I began picturing myself with a cap and gown walking across that stage instead of that little girl with the covers pulled over her head so tightly. Now, I'm starting my junior year. I'm still often faced with fears, the monsters that rear their ugly heads. But getting to this point, coming this far, I know that I can slay those monsters and tame that fear that I create in my own mind, because I've already proven to myself that success is possible. And the gripping fear that paralyzes me will pass once I educate myself on the fear of the unknown.